Hey everyone, what's up? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Rob Mods here. It's actually been quite a while since I've actually been able to sit down and record videos just like I normally do. Been lots of stuff going on with me making the premiere video, obviously, for beta, and making some more stuff that's coming up soon with a couple of giveaways in December. And so, with all that being said, now that the update's actually live and everything's rolling, just thought I'd take a minute to record a couple videos here, and they'll probably come out over the next week or so. But first thing I want to chat about is the basement, actually. So it's something that came out last update, so not this last one, but the one before. And we were expecting something to change, but we weren't sure exactly what it was going to be with basement. We were hoping that it was going to open up more slots for more max energy, of course, with tier 10, but not completely sure what that was going to be. And so now that it's out, I feel like I've had enough time with it to actually address what I think about the basement as a whole. So let's just talk about the basement. So before, obviously, there was no basement, and all of the furniture had to fit in your shop, and so it looked incredibly full. There was obviously racks pretty much everywhere, and just like a small space in the middle. And so now with the basement, I have 44 slots in the basement, and so the majority of my stuff is now in the basement instead of in the shop. Um, so let's talk about the positives first. First, I like it a lot simply because the openness of your shop that it allows you to have now is so much nicer. Obviously, it looks better, it's cleaner, there's more open spaces, you can decorate it how you want, and the aesthetic of the shop itself is obviously a lot nicer. And as well, in terms of moving things into the basement, it's really nice. Let's say if I just wanted to put some chests away, and I could just put those chests away, and then if I had the room, and then just put up more racks and then have an extra 100 energy type thing. It's really easy because I don't have to actually physically place the chest or remove the chest from my shop. It's just removing it from the basement and putting something else in the basement. So there's less moving around of racks and bins or whatever you want to do. So for example, King's Caprice is live right now, right? It says 6 days left. And so with Caprice, obviously there's a lot more of switching things out. I started Caprice with max energy because I was selling through all of my stuff. And then now I only have 3,900 energy instead, or 3,800, before I switched that out. And so for me to switch out 30 or 40 racks to bins and vice versa, if I have to do that in my shop and take everything out, so I'd have to click um, edit, store, pick where to store it. There's obviously a lot of clicking, whereas now in the basement, if I just want to put a bunch of stuff away, I can just click it, store it, basement, store it, basement, store it, and then go back here and then just store these in basement. And it's a lot faster to switch out, where I can switch out 30 pieces of furniture in a couple of minutes rather than it taking me 10 or 15 minutes to switch everything out, place it, change the skins on everything so it actually looks like my shop is supposed to look, right? So in terms of like functionality of moving things in and out, I like it a lot. In terms of functionality with the shop itself and how it looks, I like it a lot better. Um, it does make it quite a bit easier to just manage the shop as a whole as well, where I don't need to worry about where things are stocked, if they're on the front shelves or the back shelves or whatever, because I don't have a closed concept anymore. I don't need to, because I have more than enough space to have an open concept, and so everything is just out for people to choose. So there's a lot less in terms of stock management, and half the shelves out that I need to be stocking and worrying about what's on them. So it makes managing the store a lot easier, which I really like. So let's talk about the things I don't like and that I would do differently. First of all, something that we've been wanting for a long time, and something that I think would be much easier with basement, is a preset, like a pre-saved set of things that you want. Like let's say I have max energy, I put all my stuff away, I've got 8,100 energy, and in here, instead of all of my bins out, I've just got racks everywhere. But then I want to switch over to having my bins out for an event or for crafting overnight or whatever it is, and I want to switch it. I still have to manually go through and do that every single time. It just decreases the player experience when you have to go through and do that. You could have a price associated with it, an unlock associated with it, or even a timer associated with it, like only once every 8 hours you can switch it back and forth. Like you can make it so that people can't abuse it, but you could have it saved easily, even just for the basement, that these 44 slots are either set for energy or for bins or for a mixture of the two, whatever I want, but I could have certain presets. Another thing that would be really easy, let's say I've got 4 different level 14 wood bins here. those could stack easily. I shouldn't have to scroll through 44 different things when reality is I've got sometimes 30 different fully upgraded mannequins out that could stack on top of each other and just take up one slot rather than me having to go back and forth this much just to find the one thing that I want. Like they could make it much more much easier. Or there could be a select option where you could just click on a bunch of them, hold it, and select that thing, and then just select all, and then just press store in inventory. So you would be selecting all of them and then storing them all at once. Or on this itself, you could have it store in inventory or store in shop or whatever you wanted to switch it, and it could just be a button on here rather than a whole nother menu. Another thing that really annoys me is like, let's say I want to store this. I press store, that whole menu disappears. It doesn't have to do that. We could stay in the basement menu. I click on this, it presses store, and then I could just click on the wood bin beside it and store it. But instead, I have to go back through the menu every time to do that, and then back to my shop here and like manually change what I want to be putting out, and it just takes up so much unnecessary time where it doesn't need to do that. It like there's so many different menu changes or functionality changes that wouldn't be that difficult, whether it be stacking or selecting or having additional buttons or just how the menu shows up, that could make it, or a pre-saved set of items in your basement that could make it so much more functional in terms of how the game functions to increase the player experience without making it like a crazy advantage for somebody. It's just like a lot of people now, when we reach the end game, are switching bins back and forth. Depending on the event, we're switching bins and racks out, depending on the energy that we want. Like we're doing it multiple times every day sometimes. And it just makes it tedious to do, even though you could make it very easily so that that's not the case, right? So, like, I mean, overall, I do think the basement is really good. I think it increases the player experience. I think it adds a lot in terms of functionality with stock, with how your shop looks, with moving things around, with switching things in and out with bins and racks and stuff, so you don't actually have to physically place them in your shop. Like I do think that it adds a lot to the game, but I also think that there's some key changes that could definitely happen to make it so that it's a lot more uh, of an enjoyable experience for the player. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you would do differently with the basement, what you like about it, what you don't. And that'll be it for this one. And I'll be talking to you guys soon. Again, there's 2 giveaways coming up in December, which I'm really excited about. And then some brand new stuff coming in the new year. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day, great week, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.